Hi, thank you very much for watching the first premiere show of Racine in Ruins. And this is unlike my other show that I do here, other shows that I've done too here, which is kind of a comical sort of thing. I take this show very seriously. I take the show very seriously because, in my opinion, and this is a show of my opinion and my views, Racine is a city in ruins. Racine is quickly going to the dogs, and not horribly so. And it doesn't have to be. It wasn't this way 20, 30 years ago, and it's rapidly getting worse. We have high unemployment, we have high crime, we have companies leaving, we have people leaving the city. Soon, there'll be no one left, other than a handful. And again, every homeowner, every business that leaves, only leaves fewer and fewer to pay for more and more, which is a cycle which is going to also devastate the city. But first, about me. My name is Wayne Klingman. I moved to the city of Racine probably around 1990s, early 1990s, because I was married to the beautiful young woman that I now marry, go her, and it was easier for me to move here, city of Racine, than it was for her to move to Madison, where I was living then. I'll have a variety of jobs in the community, in the city of Milwaukee, and elsewhere. A little bit more about me is I've been heavily involved with the Car 25 cable station we have here, the community access television station, which I'm fully in support of, and we'll be talking about a little bit on this show. I've also been involved in film and media. I'm one of the co-authors of something called Film Wisconsin Tax Credits. A handful of people, just like me and you, moved heaven to earth working with such people as Robin Voss, Representative Bob Turner, and others to get those film incentives passed and created and made law. This helped to bring a lot of jobs, a lot of film investments into the state of Wisconsin until the former Governor Doyle decided to change them in such a way that basically they were worthless. We now have a form of tax credits, but not being used widely right now because many people don't realize they exist, which is not the topic of the show. But simply to say that I've actually done a lot of very interesting things to help Wisconsin be known in the business world, especially the world of film and media. I'm rather proud of it. Therefore, I'm using my skills in film and media to try to fight what I think is the decline of what could be and easily be a great city and a great lake, as the phrase goes. What to expect of this show? Well, I will come up with a very regular time and date to work with Car 25 and others to present a show where I come in with a guest and we talk about issues going on with the city of Racine, how they started, how they developed over the years, and ideas that we might have in order to fix them or stop them and make it a better place to live. Because I truly feel that working together, we can do a lot of good for the community, but we got to first identify what the problems are, what caused these problems, how they could be made worse even in the future to come, and what we can do, if anything, to stop it. Because if people like you and I do not get together and do not do more, we're basically all SOL, and we all should be packing our bags and boarding up our homes and getting the hell out. Because it won't be too long before this city is just like the city of Detroit. We have a handful of people trying to support an infrastructure and a population of people who are basically there for services. Let's get this point. As you may have read in the paper recently, the city of Racine, if I understand what I read in the paper correctly, will be attempting to void contracts they have with union members because, well, frankly speaking, from what the paper said and what I read, we don't have the money to pay them. Wow, that's quite the thing. You don't have the money to pay contracts that the city of Racine voted on and approved. We don't have the money. Why did that happen? Did that happen long ago and they finally woke up to that fact? Or did they know for some time that money wasn't going to be there? But wait, they've done other things too. We have a city hall's bathroom, which is getting more and more expensive every time I open up the newspaper and read it. We've approved, I mean City of Racine approved benefits for unmarried couples. And of course we're told that's the right thing to do. That's not really going to cost us any money. Well, there's a lot of union people who have been told lately that actually it will be costing the money, and they're the ones who are going to be, for lack of a better word, screwed over because of it. And those are some of the things of the show what we were talking about. The idea that I want to do is bring on other people than myself, talk about issues. But if it comes to it, I'll talk to myself and to you, the people out there, because we need to have these conversations. We need to understand fully how the heck we got to this situation and how we can do something about it. One of the things I also want to talk about is the power of media, which we'll link in a little bit with Car 25. Car 25 is a cable access television station, community access, where any member of the community can sign up to be a producer, and by working with staff of Car 25, create programming on a wide variety of subjects to go and talk about what's happening in the community. I do this show. I do a show called River Realization is another show I do. I did a show at one time called Racine Underground Cinema. There's all the wide variety of shows that other people have done in this show too. There's a show called Way Out Willie about cars. A guy out West Racine did a show for a long time called Doo Wop Diner about 50s music. We have a guy that does a Uncle Tom's, I believe does a show, I think that's his name. There's a show on cooking. All wonderful TV, all wonderful community-created television. Television that you could do. If you have a problem with your neighbor or want to talk about gardening or whatever it might be, feel free to call Car 25. Please call 25. Call Car 25 and ask them how you can go out doing them, how you can get the training that you need to come out and do a television show quickly before it's too late. Because that's something else that I'll bring up this show is I truly feel in my heart of hearts that in my opinion that Car 25 is under attack. That before too much longer, Car 25, the way that it exists now, won't be around. That would truly be sad. The other day, I was on a radio show that was produced by the former mayor of Modesto, California. Forgive me, I have a speech impediment. Modesto, California. Thank you. And in this show, we talked about water, and we talked about cable access television and other use of media to support causes that other people may not know about. He was jealous of the fact of Racine that we have a community access television program to allow us to talk to people and present our ideas, that these conversations can indeed happen and should happen. I think that's critical. See, cable access television can be done and used for so many things. I never want to see the day come when this station is converted into a situation where it all becomes the propaganda channel for the city of Racine to try to hide, marginalize, and pretend serious issues aren't happening, like crime, like unemployment. I live in the West 6th Street area of City of Racine. Around my home, we have an apartment building which is slowly falling into rubble. It should be boarded up. It's not. We have homes that are abandoned, that animals are coming and going, living out of, basically, which is fine for your animal. But those buildings should be boarded up for safety reasons. But yet I'm told that City of Racine has no money to do such small maintenance things such as this. Wow. No money. No money. Yet we have a mayor who's adapted, or in the process of adapting and finalizing something called the root works, which is something for the river, which is all fine and cool. There's a lot of good things we could talk about the Root River. But the fact of the matter is, if the city is so poor that we have to violate signed contracts with unions, and a city which has a democratic leadership, and a city that was all for the recall of Scott Walker, as I recall, and I do recall that rather well, is one of the reasons I was told is because how he treated union workers in City of Wisconsin. It's bad that he does it, but it's okay that the mayor of Racine does it. Interesting. Let me clarify this, just so we know. Walker is evil, he's Satan on earth, because he created a law passed by both houses of Madison that allowed governments to go and do different things to control costs. Okay. But he's bad for that, and people have Racine, among other places, successfully worked to create a recall. Fantastic. Great. But when the mayor of City of Racine, who is a Democrat, who has referred other people himself, has referred to someone who's very close to Obama, some even have said one phone call away, is in the process, in my opinion, of crushing the unions. And the City of Racine, I'm not seeing a very much big of an outcry on this, especially from Senator Lehman, who beat Senator Vanguard in a what I would call questionable election. But that's okay too. After all, it's for the Democratic Party. The subject that we talk to a lot on this show is all the little games that we can play. Because these problems didn't start yesterday. They started long ago. We'll be talking about the great Democratic Party Civil War and the days of when it all began. The Turner-Mayor Becker War. Turner-Mayor Dickert War and other things. We'll be talking about what happened with Frank Tingle. All these things will be brought up and talked to. There's a lot of things to be talking about. We'll be talking about the 6th Street Plan. How it was then, I believe, adapted by the city of Racine, and then, of course, not followed up on. We even talk about Mayor Becker and his rise and his fall. There's a lot of things to cover in the show, and I do intend to cover them as much as I can. My email information will be listed in the show. If you'd like to be a guest, please do not hesitate to give me an email, and we can talk. As this show will definitely follow my political ideas of the problems we have in the city, there's a lot of ideas out there that I'm not very familiar on 100%. If you have more ideas that you'd like to talk to, something I'm weak on is finance. If people out there want to talk about city financing, how that works, that's wonderful. I would really be appreciative of that. If people out there want to talk about human resources and how that works within city government, that'd be wonderful too, because I'm weak on that as well. Anyway, this is a short idea of what the show is about. And again, I thank you for taking the time to watch it. And the show, as it expands, will be at least half an hour long. Thank you again. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.